Welcome to another episode of the Brand X Podcast. This is part 2 of the Best of 2016. I am one of your hosts, John, and today, again, I am Deuceless because Deuce is doing things with his family, enjoying the holidays. Not that I'm not doing that, but, you know, I am in the control panel of the Brand X Batcave Studios, or what we call the blog room. And I have a couple more stories, actually 4 stories. A couple of them are a little bit long. The first story is a news story that Deuce brought up. He brought it to our attention here, where a man in South Carolina was trying to take a loan out to buy methamphetamines. And the woman who knew there was some shenanigans going on, well, she tried to fax somebody for help. I love these stories. These are the stories of people that are just the dumbest, lowest common denominator. You shoot a gorilla, and this man's still alive.
Yeah, this guy's walking among us. Here is a twisted but yet another glittering example of how the country is being overwhelmed by the stupid. Okay, a man is arrested trying to secure a loan from the local bank so that he can buy meth. A South Carolina man was arrested yesterday after applying for a loan so that he could purchase methamphetamine, investigators allege. According to a police report, Grady Carson, 58 years old. Okay, this is what this guy's up to. Went to a Carolina Title Loans office in Spartanburg to secure a loan against his automobile. According to its website, the loan company provides fast cash to deal with an unexpected expense. Now listen to this. This is outrageous. And charges interest rates that begin at 96%. So could you imagine that
they arrested the guy for trying to buy? They should arrest the people at the bank.
Yeah, that's a whole nother issue. When I saw interest rates that begin at 96%, I was like, well, where do they end at? 100%? Okay, but I digress. A Carolina Total Loans employee told cops that Carson, who was pacing as he filled out paperwork, told her that he needed the money to purchase meth. Since her manager was at another store, the worker faxed a help letter to the second employee who contacted cops. So you had that much time to fax a letter?
Why would you just email?
Right. Well, couldn't you just say, excuse me, Chuck, could you come over here a second? Was that too obvious? But then it says, when officers arrived at the loan business, Carson was handcuffed and a search of his pockets turned up a glass container with a off-white rock-like substance inside. Carson, cops noted, stated it was cocaine, but he was not going to smoke it because he did meth. Oh, well, that's okay. Then we'll just let you
it for
go.
Somebody else.
Right,
it's not your cocaine. Oh,
right.
You're trying to buy meth.
Yeah. It's like Carson, seen above. And this guy has a great mugshot picture, was charged with narcotics possession and booked into the county jail. He was released from custody around 4:40 a.m. today. So,
wonder what he did.
So,
you think he got meth?
Yeah, I don't know. So basically, it's like the country's gotten so stupid that even you don't know, like, you know what? If I'm going to go and secure a 96% interest rate on my car for a loan to buy meth, that maybe at the back of your head you maybe shouldn't even say anything, and you would have probably got the loan. You know, what did you think was going to happen?
Well, let me just say this. I just have a feeling that Grady maybe wasn't the most upstanding citizen and probably didn't think that he was going to ever pay back the loan.
Well,
maybe you think.
But do you think, like, are you that dumb that if you just casually mention, yes, I need the cash in a hurry because I'm going to go buy meth, that the bank was going to be okay with this?
The shocking part of this story is this guy's not from Florida.
Well, it says here at the bottom, originally from Florida.
He is?
No.
Oh. You had me. You got me.
First of all, you got to be stupid to even go to get a 96% interest rate on anything. But then you're going to just casually mention, yeah, I'm going to buy meth. What's the worst that could happen?
Here's the thing. And again, it's a shame. I mean, I know we're breaking his balls because he did something stupid like this, but it's really the addiction talking.
There was just so much in this story that at first I was questioning, like, it almost sounded like an Onion article.
Yeah, because you can't think somebody would be this dumb.
Like satire. I mean, between the 96% interest rate, Okay. He casually mentions he needs the money to purchase meth. And then the employee has to fax a help letter. I mean, who still has fax machines? That blew me away right there. A fax machine? I mean,
I can hear now. Mr. Carson, can you just do me a favor? Sit right here. I got to fax my manager. I'll be right back, okay? Okay, just there. Would you like a mint?
yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's absolutely the noise.
Mr. Carson, it'll just be a minute, sir.
Oh, I hope this guy doesn't go crazy. Please pick up the fax. Pick up the fax.
Oh, disconnected. Oh, I got to do it again. Beep, hold on, Mr. Carson. Please. It'll just be a second. I'm just trying to get some approval from my manager. Hold on. Go through. Go through.
Is this even going in? And then you got the page in upside down. So now you just fax a blank sheet. Cut me off. I used to love that because I had a fax service in my store, and people would always,
How much you could pay? Like $1.50 a page?
Oh, it was awesome, man. It was like you made money hand over fist. It was great, but yeah, that doesn't last forever because then computers got more affordable. But oh yeah, it was like $4 to connect and $1 a sheet.
Really?
Oh, it was great. It was the most, and all it did was cost me a phone call.
Right.
So
I mean, that's great for you, but I mean, did you use it a lot?
What's that? Yeah, I made pretty good money with it back.
A lot of people would come in and do this?
Yeah. Mostly salespeople or people that did things with like legal documents.
Really?
Yeah. Well, that's why you used to see fax machine. You always used to see fax machine here signs everywhere in every convenience store, Staples, Office Depots. Everyone did it back then. It was awesome. And they said, oh, that was highway robbery. It says, well, sometimes not so much because sometimes they were faxing something in California. It might take 5 minutes, 10 minutes depending on how many pieces of paper they were faxing. Mm-hmm. Well, that phone call would have probably cost you about $5 just to connect.
Oh, really? I never thought about that.
Yeah, because you had to, if you were faxing it down the next town over, that was great. But if someone was faxing it across state lines, then you had to factor in the long distance charges.
Hold on, Mr. Carson. I just have to get the approval. Hello? Oh,
now,
I think it went through. Let me try again.
Who?
I swear, Mr. Carson, this never happens.
Now, where is this employee from that you're imitating? Because you got
Mr. Carson, I don't believe this happens. This doesn't normally happen like this. Oh, finally it went through. Help! Someone's trying to buy meth. What? Did that go through?
And then she finds out that she faxed a help message in upside down. So the guy on the other end has a blank piece of paper like, what the hell's that bitch doing?
I don't know, but she sent 4 blank pieces of paper over. Hold on. I better send her a piece over saying to turn it around. Dear Hazel, please turn the page around. I'm only getting the blank side. What's going on? I'm getting a reply.
Don't worry about the fax machine, Mr. Gray. This could be your approval.
Oh, for the love of cornflakes, I gotta turn it around. Hold on, Mr. Carson. Hello? Meanwhile, if you sent an email, the police would have been there by now.
Yeah. I mean, she could send a text?
Ooh, a text. I never thought about a text.
Yeah, like a text. Or just how about, like, let me walk over. I'm just going to walk over to my assistant and make sure that this is correct.
Well, Mr. Fancy Pants, how many times do you think I have someone trying to get a loan for methamphetamines? I mean, it doesn't happen here every day. I mean, I was perplexed, Deuce. What do you think I was supposed to do? All I could think of was call and fax over for help.
Yeah. I mean,
help!
And how addicted does this guy have to be to think, 96%, that sounds reasonable. I can handle that. So, I mean, put that in perspective. If you took a $100 loan,
right,
you would have to pay back $196.
Yeah.
Just
compounded daily.
And this makes sense to you?
No.
You know,
nothing about this makes sense.
So anyway, I just thought this was humorous. I thought it was just so humorous that it had to be fake. That I had to...
Hold on, dude. I'm getting a fax back. Oh, I hope they're sending the police. Oh, wait a minute. Did mine go through? Oh, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if she faxed the police. You know,
I'm trying to fax 911. Hold on, Mr. Carson. Why isn't 911 unfaxing this? I don't know.
Does anyone even still have a fax machine? That's what I want to know.
No, I don't. Well, you know what? Well, you know my cousin, the Jimmy. He still deals in faxes. You know, the people that are like their technology stopped like in the 90s, they still love faxes. Like my cousin Mike, Jimmy's brother, he has a auto repair place. And when I'm there, he's like, yeah, faxes. I'm like, fax? Why fax? Because what would you do? I'd send them an email. Well, why would you say that? That's ridiculous. That's stupid. That's too hard. Just fax them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's easy? So meanwhile, they've got all these. So what are you doing? Well, I'm saving the fax that I sent them. Yeah, well, if you had an email, you wouldn't have to have that piece of paper. Just do what I tell you to do.
All right. Yeah, well, when you hit it with logic, it's right. Never good.
No, I understand.
So I thought that was an interesting, whimsical story. Like,
all right. So I wonder if Grady's. I wonder if he's in the Hooskow. I hope he's getting help.
No, I said he was released.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's something you can hope that he's getting some kind of attention.
I hear that the bank now has a policy that you don't fax for help anymore, that you can actually email for help. They actually have an email helpline. I'm just kidding. I have no idea what the bank does. They might still be faxing for help. All right. Now, our next story. This was big. This was about Harambe the gorilla. And you couldn't swing a dead cat after this story happened. Everybody was upset about Harambe. They were either for Harambe or, well, they weren't for him being shot, but they understood why this had to happen. And it went all the way up to the presidential candidates. And of course, you know us, we got to weigh in. And you know how I am when I get hungry, I'm grumpy. And I've been actually really grumpy this week because of the gorilla incident.
Yes, very sad.
It is very sad, to be honest with you. But enough is enough. It is a gorilla. On May 28th, over at the Cincinnati Zoo, a 4-year-old boy was at the zoo with his parents. His mother had 2 other kids. He got underneath the railing, got to the edge of the gorilla enclosure, and fell in. Now, everybody is all up in arms because they immediately want to chastise and blame the parents. They want the parents arrested. They want the kids taken away from the parents. And I'm thinking to myself, grow up, all right? Either one or two things have happened. You either never had children,
right,
or you've bumped your head so many times.
Or you've never been a child yourself, right, which is impossible.
Exactly. All you want to do is get close to the gorilla. Why? Because we see gorillas on TV and they're all friendly, and we watch TV shows about gorillas and they're all friendly, and they don't realize that these things are 10 times stronger than a man. So in other words, say you're a guy, you can like bench press 225 pounds. A gorilla can bench press a ton, over a ton.
And think nothing of it.
And nothing of it.
Right.
So one of the things I'm doing is I'm going to put some links in the show notes from some YouTube videos of where these gorillas are in zoos and they actually like attack. They don't think they don't see the glass, so they try to attack a person that's watching them, and just see the force that they hit the glass with.
Right.
It's amazing. So this child falls into the gorilla enclosure, and let me see, how do you say this thing's name?
Yeah, they just can't name them Fred anymore.
Right, you can't name the gorilla Fred. It was, here we go. Let me try this one. Harambe. Harambe, the gorilla, goes over to the child. Now, they're like, oh, look, he's trying to protect the child. Now, that's what they see. What I see is this gorilla's dragging this thing around like a Raggedy Ann doll through the water. And I'm telling you right now, if that was my 4-year-old child, I would want that gorilla shot. How about you? You?
I agree with you because there's just some kind of irrational overprotection of animals in this country. I like animals.
I like animals.
Here's where you have to do the obligatory disclaimer, okay? At the end of the day, everyone loves animals, but you have a group of people that we've seen time and time again that want to put animals' lives before human safety. We saw it a week ago in another zoo story where that insane guy jumped in the lion pit naked and they shot the 2 lions that were mauling him to death. So that's what the guy wanted.
Right. He was trying to commit suicide by lion.
Right. And
not to his wife.
Yeah. Now, to this story with the gorilla, if the gorilla broke out and ran amok and they shot the gorilla, everybody would have been fine with that. Okay. To use another John euphemism, a Buchanicism, is, well, call me crazy, but back in the 40s and 50s when the gorillas were behind iron bars, children wouldn't be wandering into the pen. But now we have to have these back to nature kind of feel. I mean, if a gorilla is going to act like a gorilla at the end of the day, you can't be upset, and I'm sure that the parents would have much rather have that child than a live gorilla.
Well, here's the thing, and people are stupid. I'm sorry. If you are on the side of the gorilla here, you're an idiot. I'm just going to tell you that right now. You're a dope. And please send all hate mail to hello@brandxpodcast.com. All right? hello@brandxpodcast.com. Because I want to hear from you dopes where you think that they should, let's tranquilize. Let's tranquilize the gorilla. Okay. So there's a 4-year-old boy there and you shoot a tranquilizer dart at a gorilla. First of all, it doesn't go to sleep right away. It takes a couple minutes. Now, all of a sudden, it feels like it was attacked. Ow, what was that? Must be this kid. Here, let me rip its head off.
Right.
Okay? It would take a second. I mean, half a second for that gorilla to kill that kid.
And that's the Hollywoodification of this country because we watch movies and spy things and they see someone get hit with a poison dart or a tranquilizer dart and they go to sleep immediately.
It's like, what was that? Thud.
That doesn't happen.
No.
Never will happen, never has happened.
So now the gorilla's dragging this kid around, and it goes, and there's actually film. I mean, you go on YouTube right now, and I'll put the video in the show notes here at brandxpodcast.com/005. You can go right to there, and you can actually see the video. So now they have to shoot the gorilla. All right, so they shoot the gorilla. Now there's now they want legislation. People are out right now. They want the head of the zoo. They want him arrested. I mean, let's get crazy. I'm looking at the memes now. Not sure why they killed me. I was doing a better job watching that lady's kid than she was. That's a good one.
Yeah, I've read a lot of the reports, and I forget who made the statement. It was one of the zookeeper personnel or whatever. But they said that eventually that gorilla would have submerged that kid under the water. Well, he wasn't trying to protect that kid. That's what eventually was going to happen to that poor child.
Well, that's the other thing. What if they shoot the dart with the gorilla with a tranquilizer dart? The gorilla goes to sleep and then falls in the water on top of the child. Yeah. Now the child drowns, the gorilla drowns, and the people are saying, "Why'd you shoot him with a dart?"
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Everybody's a freaking genius once all the cards are on the table. Oh, why did you do that? Why didn't you do this? Why? Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Oh, you should have done that. I would have done this. You could have done that. All speculation. We have no idea how this went, but I'll tell you how it really went. They shot the gorilla. The child's alive. He's got a concussion, probably from falling, some scrapes and bruises. He's fine. Is it terrible that the gorilla's dead? Yes, it is terrible. But you know me, I bring answers. I say, you know what we do? Let's make everybody happy. Let's get Harambe, the gorilla, and have him stuffed. All right? Hey. Let's get him stuffed. And then we'll put him right in front of the Cincinnati Zoo. Right in front of the gorilla, what's that called? The gorilla habitat, the gorilla section, the gorilla cage, whatever.
Gorilla enclosure.
The gorilla enclosure. We'll have stuffed Harambe in front of the gorilla enclosure, and then we'll put a sign. He'll be holding a sign. It says, "Please do not fall into the enclosure," or there'll be another one of these just like me standing here next year.
Yeah, It's not been a very good week for zoos in the world, with all this other stuff that goes on. Because you hear about this at least once a year. There's a tragic news story involving zoos or SeaWorld.
Right.
Anywhere where there's animals. I mean, Great Adventure up in Jackson, New Jersey, they did away with the safari from what I understand.
Yeah, you know why? Because those stupid baboons were ripping everybody's car apart. As soon as they would get there, they were like a gang of, it was like an angry gang.
Well, they did have a portion, because I remember in the 70s when it opened up, vinyl tops were very popular on cars.
Couldn't have one going through there.
No, you could not. And they had signs telling you that. They said vinyl top cars go this way. And basically what they had was a fenced out enclosure. I guess it went on top of the cars, like a tunnel almost, only made out of chain link fence so that the baboons couldn't get at the cars. And that's, if you had a vinyl top, that's where you went. And Great Adventure was telling you, don't drive your car through here because we're not responsible. So, of course,
if you had a radio antenna before, where the radio antennas were in the windshield, they used to stick out of the fender.
Right. If you had a fixed mast antenna, that was coming off.
Right. They'd snap that right off.
We went to Great Adventure once, and we didn't have a vinyl top, so we drove through the regular route. And some bonehead decided, well, what's the worst could it have? These baboons must love to eat vinyl because they dropped what they were doing, and they ran there like Mr. Softy was there, and they ripped that vinyl top right off like in seconds. And that never gets. And then Genghis was like, yeah, look at this idiot. Yeah, didn't he see the 10 signs that said, if the last chance to turn off if you've got a vinyl top? Because we were like looking at this. It was like, well, don't go that way. Oh, made sense to me.
I want to go through. I don't care if we got a vinyl roof. I want to go through. Okay.
But not only that. But not only that, with the other animals, I think there was dopey people that thought just because they were in a enclosure that the lions and the giraffes or the elephant won't hurt you. And I think people were probably rolling down their car windows to feed these things.
I know.
I mean, there has to be a reason that they all, after 30 years, Great Adventure just said, yeah, we're not doing that no more. Because it must have been litigation or must have been insurance issues. Things don't just happen for no reason at all. People got to realize that animals, if given the chance, are going to act like animals. And you shouldn't be punishing the animals for it. And you shouldn't be putting if they are on the brink of destroying a human, don't put your feelings that the animal was cute. What about that kid? Or what about that person?
Deuce, don't you realize that gorilla lives matter? Well, that they actually went, because this is such a story, they actually went to the candidates, the presidential candidates. Did you know this?
No, I did not.
Well,
but I'm not surprised.
Here we go. Let's ask Donald Trump what he thought.
Was it an outrage that they killed this gorilla?
Was it an outrage that they killed this gorilla?
I think
what do you
it's a very tough call. It was amazing because there were moments with the gorilla, the way he held that child. It was almost like a mother holding a baby. It looked so beautiful and calm. And there were moments where it looked pretty dangerous. I don't think they had a choice. I mean, probably they didn't have a choice. You have a child, a young child is at stake, and, it's too bad there wasn't another way. I thought it was so beautiful to watch that, powerful, almost 500-pound gorilla, the way he
drugged that kid all through the water.
Boy. But it just takes 1 second. It's 1 second. It's not like it takes place over, he's going to do it in 30 seconds from now. It just takes one little flick of his finger. And I will tell you, they probably had no choice.
So that's it. So now they also asked Hillary the same question, and her response was, really, Hillary? All right, so that's what it was from the candidates today or yesterday as they talked about Harambe the gorilla.
I often wonder when things like this happen and they run to a governor, a president, a candidate, whatever. Like, how much of it did they even know about it? Like, like, did they see it? I mean, because, they're pretty, you would hope they're pretty busy running for office and preparing for, well, how am I going to handle the Russian situation? How am I going to handle ISIS? Do you really think like a commentary like on maybe or what happened with a guerrilla came across their radar?
Well, how can you not hear about this story, number one?
Yeah, well, this got blown up. It really, really did. And Donald Trump is trying to like have it both ways. Like, well, the guerrilla was beautiful, but they had to kill him. It's like, no, you make a decision, and I think they made the right decision.
Oh, I absolutely do. I think they would. Yeah, if it was their child, everybody that's whining and crying about the gorilla, if that was their 4-year-old child in there, they'd shoot that gorilla. It would be like, and the next thing you know, oh my God, there's a child in there. Oh, there's little Johnny. Oh my God, what are we gonna do? Give me that. All right.
How many times did they shoot the gorilla, by the way?
I don't know.
Was it a one and done? They got to be in there. There's
got to be video of this. I can't believe it hasn't surfaced yet because I'd play that video too.
Yeah, there's got to be. You got to hit a gorilla or any of these animals with a pretty heavy caliber round of ammunition.
Right. But so let's pour one out. We'll pour Harambe the gorilla. No more with us. No longer with us. Because a 4-year-old child fell into the enclosure. And again, that happens. What are you going to do?
Yeah, and let's remember that the kid's safe.
Yeah, the kid's safe.
Everyone's forgetting that.
My goodness. So what do you think? I think we should go to social media on this. Do you like my plan? Shall we have Harambe stuffed?
The stuffing of Harambe?
Harambe, and then that way he's still there for people to come see, and you can put him right in front of the gorilla exhibit at the Cincinnati Zoo holding a sign. Please do not fall into the enclosure where my family will be sitting here stuffed next to me next year.
Well, they might want to have the stuffed Harambe with a video feed of what actually happened.
Oh, like a television screen in his stomach. And it says, listen, if you fall in here, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah. With a coin slot. It's a good way to make money.
Yeah, and then you could have whatever money they collect, they can give it to like some gorilla fund.
Yeah, this way you raise awareness and cash.
There you go. That's a perfect idea. Yes, Harambe was one of the casualties in 2016. Got to pour one out for Harambe. I'll tell you what, as 2016 closed, the Grim Reaper was really trying to make up for his quota. A lot of people, celebrities, have been dropping like flies, and everybody's upset about it. I just hope the trend doesn't go into 2017 or people will start losing their mind. All right, on to our next story. It's no secret that Deuce is a fanboy of 3 Is Comedy. Not that I'm a fanboy too. I'll always bust Deuce's balls on how much of a fanboy he is. So, that being said, I had misread something, kind of like what I do. It's my thing. It's my shtick. And Deuce went, you go, Mindy, because Mindy from 3 Is Comedy, we're like, I don't know, we have the same shtick going on. She has problems reading words at times. I have problems reading words at times. So what Deuce didn't know was I kind of went behind his back, went to 3 Is Comedy, and it actually turned into something on their show. And I grabbed that and played it, and we talked about it. And Deuce, you, my friend, are gaining traction in the podcasting space. You were actually mentioned on Monday's 3 Is Comedy podcast.
Wow. I did hear that, and I was joyfully surprised.
Joyfully surprised?
Yes. I was ecstatic.
Well, everybody, if you've listened to this podcast, you know that we're big fans of Jason, Mindy, and Bob of 3 Is Comedy. So this is what Mindy had to say.
He popularized.
Oh my God. It's so, what's so funny about you? You struggle with the reading, but yet you always pick stuff that's heavy reading.
I don't give a crap. I just read it. I just read it. I learn as I go. And you know what? Somebody else pointed that out.
Yes. Deuce on the Brand X podcast.
On the web,
Brand X podcast.
One thing.
So Deuce, I don't give a crap.
Yeah.
I just read.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make fun of me.
He was making fun of John because John was reading very much like you do.
Yeah.
At the time. Butchering, what was it? Euthanasia. He was fumbling over that word.
But I think it's funny. They put an element of funny. Anyway.
They do.
Whatever, Deuce. Good job, John.
Good job.
So, what do you think, boy?
Yeah, well,
that shocked you when you first heard it?
Yeah, well, I was a truth in lending disclosure. I was like, I said that and I was like, oh my God. I says that wasn't really, I was nervous. I thought Mindy would be really, really mad at me because we taped that night that day. And I had just listened to their podcast, and finished it up 20 minutes before we started our podcast. So it was fresh in my mind, that episode of theirs. And it was funny because Mindy was reading and she was, having a little bit of an issue there. And then when you went into your butchering of the word, I was just like, it was all fresh in my mind. It was like, and I said, what I said. And later on, I was like, oh, you know what? And I was, I IM'd you. I says, oh, maybe we shouldn't put that in there. Cause short of listening to their podcast, which I never miss, that's the only way I know them. I mean, I know you know them better than I do. And I was like, well, maybe that's really not my place. I was a wreck after that. I was like,
yeah. So to peel back the curtain, Deuce, because I said I'm leaving that in there. And Deuce IM me later and says, listen, I don't know if we should do that. I don't want to upset Mindy. And so I'm really going to peel back the curtain now. I kind of had a little fun with you because I immediately jumped on an IM with Mindy. And I said, hey, listen, Deuce, and I just told her the whole thing. And she cracked up. And I said, listen, if you want to make a response and send it in, however you want to do it, that's fine. I'll play it. I said, but I asked her permission if I could leave it in there. And she said, yeah, go ahead, no problem. So then she did that, and then they immediately sent me the audio. I didn't have to go get it. They sent it to me. So actually they were in on it, but I went over and I asked Mindy because you know what? We're here, we're trying to make comedy, and sometimes, we've never been trained. And I mean, they do their podcast live. He could actually edit that out, but he doesn't. Jason just lets it roll. And to be honest with you, it is actually funny. And I used to try to take out a lot of, what am I talking about? We already did the opening of the show, 5 minutes of the opening of the show. We scrapped it. But, normally I don't do that. I mean, I've been leaving more and more of my mistakes in there because I think it just adds a little bit of a comedic element to the show.
Well, you know what it is too? They are so fluid in what they do that it's as if I do know them, though I've never spoke to them.
Oh, hold on a second. Here comes Big T. What's up, Big T?
Fix the railing on the cellarway. That's fixed.
Okay, thank you.
Now I got to get the thing for the door.
All right, gotcha. I knew it. I knew it was going to happen.
Rush the mic.
Back in the day at DBK.
Yeah, when I used to do the Monday night show, I would open up the mic, and everybody in the station would come rushing the mic, and they would stay in my. I could feel the breath on the back of my neck.
Don't pay any attention to that on the air light. Everyone in. It's like a platoon of people. No, but I mean, as I was saying, just to finish up, I mean, what they do over at 3 is comedy. They're just so relaxed and they're just so in tune with each other that it's as if I feel as if I do know them, though I've never spoke to them. So, it was a lot of fun. It was really a lot of fun because it just rolled off it was like we were sitting at the bar like we used to back in the day, and we would say, "You go, Joe," or "You go, John," and it just rolled right out. Like, "You go, Mindy," and it was just like. And it was a lot of fun, but I was a nervous wreck. I really was.
As a podcaster, or even as in radio, one of the things is that you listen to somebody all the time, and so you get to know that person, even though they don't know you. They're telling stories, so you know everything about them, and they have not a clue about you. So it's a compliment, to be quite honest with you, to be able to feel that comfortable with those hosts. To be able to say something like that, it's like you're right. Like you listen to them 3 days a week,
yeah,
and you feel like you know them.
Yeah, because like I said, that day was like awesome because I had overtime that day. Mm-hmm. And, I was driving home and I was like, oh, cool. I can get to listen to this on the drive home. And I like rolled up in the drive and then, got changed and everything. And then I got all of ours. So I had like I said, had just finished listening to that podcast. So it was really fresh in my mind. So then when you started bumbling all over that word,
well,
it just rolled right out.
And here's my problem too. I think I'm dyslexic a little bit. So when I read, I try to read as I speak. And if it doesn't come as like the way I speak, I fumble over it or I miss words. I could sometimes I swear it was this word and then I go back and look at it again and go, nope.
Let me ask you a question. Because I need them. And do you need reading glasses maybe?
I don't think I need reading glasses.
Just to see what, because
for distance I need them, but not to. I can read.
I know you've got a larger screen than I have, but a lot of times I have to really blow things way up, and then with the reading glasses, of course, that helps. So I was just wondering if maybe that's something that you got going on that you're not aware of.
No, I go too fast.
Okay,
my eyes and my mind and my mouth don't connect. They're not in fluid motion. Like it goes from my eyes to my mind, and my mind says, what did that say? And my mouth had already said something. Are you sure about that? What's going on here?
I don't know. What are you talking about?
There's a pizza guy outside. He's going to go knocking on the door. That's not for me.
Well, that's my pizza.
What? There's a pizza and a sandwich. This guy said, what is going on here today? I didn't order anything.
Big T ordered that?
No, but Big T's out there saying, oh, yeah, he's in the back. Go ahead through. Look, listen, they're knocking on the window. Hold on. I didn't order a pizza. No, it's not mine. All right. Ask them how much it is. Maybe I'll buy it off them. I'm a little hungry. I've never had such nonsense doing a podcast.
That's hysterical.
Yeah, I see the car pull up. I'm nonchalantly looking at the car. I'm like, yeah, pizza guy. Then all of a sudden he's out. He's walking around like, he's got the pizza. He's walking around. He's looking, which door? Front door? Tony's like, no, you go in the back. I can hear it out of the corner. I can hear it in my ear. And then all of a sudden, I'm thinking to myself, so then he starts banging on the window.
This is from the Jimmy? Maybe he ordered pizza?
It's my Uncle Tony, so it's to Jimmy's father.
Oh, okay.
It's the Jimmy. Oh, Jimmy, what do you do? What do you do? It's the Jimmy. Oh,
I talked to the Jimmy. I actually had a conversation with the Jimmy the other day. Yeah. Well, it was the Jimmy's birthday.
Yeah,
Happy birthday, Jimmy.
That. Happy birthday to Jimmy.
Yeah, it was on the 21st of August. Well, you know me. I'm kind of a prankster. So it gets me in trouble more times than not. It gets me in trouble. And it actually got me in trouble with a friend of mine who's no longer a friend of mine because of on social media. I had put up a picture of, actually the two of them I knew before they were married. They got married. And I put a picture up of him. I took a picture of Caitlyn Jenner on the cover of Vanity Fair. And I had his head photoshopped onto her body. And the missus got a little perturbed, and it turned into a whole unsocial media war. And a lot of people got involved, and there was a warning, Facebook warning. And again, I know we're adults here, but every once in a while we go back to our teenage, childish behavior. And that happened here. I am pissed off, okay? I'm upset. I'm sick and tired of being blamed for everything because I'm a middle-aged white guy, and now we have Trump as president, and it's my fault. And I didn't even vote for a clown. And I told all you clowns not to vote for him either. And you didn't listen to me, did you? And now what do you got? President Trump. So there you go. That's what I say. I've had it with these people. You people.
Okay, good. You.
Well, you're kind of conflating the issue, but you go.
That's right. I'm going to get to the issue in a second, but you know me, I like a build-up. It's called a transition. Exactly. I don't even know what happened. Everything was going fine. It was Monday morning. The Eagles had won. I went and got my cup of coffee, and I'm I'm sitting there. I did my Eagles video, my coffee video. I actually did Facebook Live. I thought that was kind of cool. Flying without a net. It wasn't too bad. And then I'm sitting there on my phone, and all of a sudden, my Facebook, it logs me out of Facebook. So I was like, what's up with that? So I log back in, and there's a warning. And it says,
warning, warning, warning.
And there's a picture of a guy I know. I'm not going to use names. Okay, I'm not going to use names.
You know names.
I know names. And let's see. I guess I got to go back to the beginning. But let me finish this and I'll go back to the beginning.
Sure.
I'm all over the place, people. I'm all over the place, and I apologize. So anyhow, I get a message from Facebook. And I had made a meme as a joke. Okay? So the meme was back when, I don't know, last 2015 for Halloween, when Caitlyn Jenning was on the cover of Vanity Fair. One of the tasteless costumes was guys getting dressed up as Caitlyn Jenner. They wore the white satin pantsuit, and they put a shawl on that said, "Hi, I'm Caitlyn," and they put a wig on. It was mostly middle-aged guys with hairy backs.
It was one of the most disturbing photographs ever taken. I was like,
well, no, that wasn't the most disturbing. The most disturbing is when I took one time I had a woman's wig on, and I had like a gray beard, and I took a picture. So what I did was I went into Photoshop, and I Photoshopped my head onto Caitlyn's body. Right. That is the most disturbing photo that there ever was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's right up there.
Anyhow, I had that photo. And, that kind of thing sticks in my mind. So I had friends that they're acquaintances, all right? I've known them, I guess it's got to go back it's 11 years now. And how I met them was back in 2004, I started to play Texas Hold'em poker, all right? I love the game. Still love the game. Really love to play. And I was playing online. And that was back when you were allowed to have fun and play poker online, and you could play for money and stuff like that. And I just wanted to get better at it. So I decided to look up on the internet how to play poker online. I figured maybe there's a poker school. So I typed in online poker schools, and this thing popped up, Poker School Online, PSO. So I went in and I joined, and you paid a monthly fee. And they had all kinds of stuff in there. It was kind of cool. It had like a forum. I guess there was like 500 people in there, and you could go in there and play poker, not for money, but you played for points, and you had like a monthly point total. And they had forums and stuff like that, and it was really back before any of this stuff that we're doing now, where you can do Google Hangouts. And
this was like pre-Facebook then, so it was probably...
Yeah, it was pre-Facebook. And we would go in the forums, and, what would happen is when you play poker, sometimes, and this is why poker is such a great game, because it's a game of skill, but sometimes you can get in as a huge favorite, and somebody catches if you're 80% to win, you're still 20% to lose. So if that 20% happens, and you lose when you should have won, you get mad. You're mad. And that's one of the things that I had to learn about poker was not to get mad. I almost gave the game of poker up, because I would get in good, and then they would beat me, and then they would tell me how they were, like, why that was a good, why what they did was good. I go, well, if getting in at 20, at a 4-1 underdog is good, well, what do you want from me? Or 5-1. So we had a bunch of people that we played with, and this one person and this other woman, I got to give them names. Let's call her Ace Queen Pro. All right. That ought to go up her ass like Lexington Steel. And
wow.
Then, that's right. That's how mad I am. All right?
I'm just wondering how many people are going to get that reference.
That's all right. I know somebody right now that's Googling Lexington Steel. Lexington Steel. Hold on. Wait a minute. What is it? Oh, my God. That's right. So anyhow, Ace Queen Pro, we would get in there and play. And listen, when I first started playing, I wasn't really that good. So a lot of times I would lay a bad beat on somebody, and they would get pissed. They would get pissed because I would knock them out of a tournament or whatever the reason was. But we're there to learn, and we became friends, okay, over the internet.
Poker friends, basically.
Poker friends, right.
You didn't really hang outside of the forum.
Well, no. We did not. Well, there was a couple times. I went to Chicago one time to play in a poker tournament, And one time they came to Atlantic City and we played for poker tournaments. So yeah, we did meet. And then there was a couple times we went to one of the guys in the group had a poker tournament. He lived down near Washington, D.C.
Yeah, but that was like a huge gathering. It wasn't like you did a one-on-one kind of a thing.
Right. But what we would do is we'd get into forums, right? And we would grab ass and play around and stuff like that. And back then they had these Indian movies. This is how crazy.
Bollywood?
Well, it was a site. You would go there and there'd be these movie scenes and they would have subtitles. And you could go in and change the subtitles to say whatever you wanted.
Oh, okay.
So it would be like this movie and you would make subtitles. And it was joking. So you would think they would have a sense of humor, right? Because trust me, what I did by taking the one guy's head, so what I did was I didn't do it. I had a friend do it. Because I lost my skills. So I had my friend take his head and put it on Caitlyn Jenner's body. And that's what started this whole rigmarole. So I've known him for a long time. I see him on Facebook every once in a while. He lived in New Jersey. She lived in Ohio. They ended up hooking up. They ended up getting married. Beautiful love story. All right. So he moves out there. And we don't play poker anymore because the poker school online got bought up and the whole thing dismantled. So it just kind of everybody went their own way. But we still see each other on social media.
Right.
And Ace Queen Pro is she was a very big Hillary supporter. And I guess her husband was a big Hillary supporter too.
So they're bitter and angry.
So they're very bitter and angry. Although, not...
I mean, now. Post-election,
Well, yeah, and again, the other thing is not as much. I mean, I got to come up with a name for him. Dude. All right, so Dude, he's not that bad. Dude's not that bad. I mean, you can at least reason him. But the thing about Dude is that he doesn't mind. He doesn't mind a debate, and he comes in and you say your things back and forth and all, and then every once in a while it gets a little snippy. But you know what? At least with Dude, at the end of the day, like you and I, we can have our arguments or whatever. And then we're done with it, and it's over, and it's not a big deal, all right? But then again, here's the problem. Not only do you have Dude, but now you got Ace Queen Pro, and as soon as she comes in, all right, and starts stomping around, and makes a big thing. And so now I put this thing on. And basically what it was all over the story where Newt Gingrich had that interview with Megyn Kelly. And Newt was very snippy with Megyn, and Newt wanted her to say that
that could go both ways.
Bill Clinton was a sex offender or whatever it was.
He was a sexual predator. She wouldn't say it.
That's right. She wouldn't say sexual predator.
She wouldn't say it at all.
She wouldn't say it. Right. But here's the thing. This is my point. If we're going to have this glass ceiling that everybody's breaking, and if you're going to be on a job as a woman, then you have to be able to do the same job as a man. Equal pay for the equal job. So you don't get any special treatment. If you're a woman and you're in there and you're a reporter and you're having a conversation with somebody, you got to be able to handle it when they get snippy. Mm-hmm. Now listen, do I think Newt Gingrich was out of line? Absolutely. But you can't say, well, this is horrible because, why can he treat a woman that way? No, he treated a reporter that way that happened to be a woman. Believe it or not, I'm actually standing up for women's rights here. But I digress. So we're going back and forth. I said, dude, I'm about ready to take away your man card. So he said to me, I'd like to see you try. So then I have my friend put his head on Caitlyn Jenner's body. I'm sorry.
Finish him.
And I put it in there. And he goes, is that how you want to play it? And I think I said, yeah, I do. Because I figured he'd come back with something, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, it's like a tennis match now. You're going to lob them back and forth.
Right, exactly. I was eagerly awaiting his reply, his volley back. Well, then all of a sudden I get this instant message from... I don't appreciate you putting that on my husband's head on Caitlyn Jenner's body. Because it's a defense to transgender people and also to my husband. And if anybody, I have children, the children. And someday my children might actually Google him and find that picture I'm not done. So I would like you to remove that picture immediately. All right, now I'm done. So I
would think it's highly unlikely that, I don't know how old the children are, but I find it highly unlikely that someday down the road they're going to be able to find that.
Of course they're not going to find it. They're trying to, this is what they do. They try to make it, it's an assault to transgender. No, it's a joke. It's a freaking joke.
It's like so, I have no words.
All right. So, and you know how I am. All right. I'm like, well, okay. It was late at night when she sent me the thing, or maybe it wasn't late. I don't know, whatever. And then something happened, and you know me, shiny. I completely forgot about it. I completely forgot about it. You know, so after I read this whole,
I was offended and I have rights.
I had forgot about it. I wasn't even thinking about it anymore. So I'm sitting there, going about my day, right? And every day she probably comes downstairs and goes, is it still there? Did he take it down? Is it still there? Oh, he didn't take it down.
And meanwhile, you're just happy assholing through life, and this is going on in the background.
Right. I have no clue. All right. So then it's like, you know what? If he doesn't take that down by Monday, I'm calling Facebook. I'm going to get it taken down. I'll show him.
Did you get a warning in between?
No. Well, she told me one time, and I forgot.
So you were totally sandbagged then, basically.
Yeah. So then, you know, Monday morning, dear Mark Zuckerberg, I have an injustice going on right now, and I have to tell you about it. I've read your terms of agreement and service and whatever that thing is I sign when I sign on to Facebook, and my husband has been violated. My husband has been violated. Hold on. How do you spell violated? My husband has been violated, and someone put a picture of it on it when it said on Caitlin Just Bye. I'm not done. Please, could you have somebody take a look at this, because I feel that this should be taken down. I am offended as a woman. I am offended as wherever I'm from. I'm offended.
I was offended and I have rights.
Sincerely, Ace Queen Pro. All right, so she sends that off. Now, honestly, I don't know when she sent it off. Mm-hmm. So I'm having my coffee. All of a sudden, I get signed. I'm sitting there with my phone in my hand. All of a sudden, bloop, I'm off of Facebook. It says, you've been logged off. Okay, so I log back on.
Warning.
This is Facebook. You violated the terms of service, and this picture's been taken down because of whatever. I don't even know.
You know, just as a point of order here, I've seen a lot of weird shit on Facebook. And right. Well, duh. And it's like it boggles my mind that got picked off. I mean, I've seen people got X-rated stuff up there.
Nobody complains, so nobody does anything. But, you know, Ace Queen Pro, dear Mark Zuckerberg, I sent him a private message. You can look it up. You know how to do that. And I want that taken down immediately. His grandmother could find it. And what would happen then? She could have a heart attack and die. Signed, Ace Queen Pro. All right.
So everybody else that was like watching this was probably like, oh boy, is this great?
Not yet. Because nobody knows. Nobody knows.
I missed this all.
I know you did. So you know me. I'm like, all right.
Finish her.
Well, again, and I shouldn't have done this. I should have listened to what they told me in therapy, which was to, you know, take some deep breaths, count to 10, don't do anything for an hour. Yeah, drink some tea. But all I could think of was like, please take it down. And then all of a sudden you get this ding, and then it's like, oh, here's Facebook. We've taken it down. And as I'm sitting there and I logged back onto Facebook, all I can hear is her in the background. All right, so now I've lost my mind. All right, so I get on there and then I'm doing my own typing. Now, I could go there and probably read all this stuff, but I basically tagged her in this and I said, hey, bravo for you. You know, you cried to Facebook. You got your picture taken down. You know, it was a joke. You know, if you think you can censor me here, you're out of your mind. All right? So I send that off. And then, of course... she gets in there and, well, let me tell you something, and this is my husband, and I'll defend my husband, and blah, blah, blah. And so then we went back and forth with this, okay? And we're talking, you know, and we're again, I guess kind of like, you know, friends would, you know, when they argue back and forth or something like that. But she was pissed. And you know what? I was pissed, and I'm not backing down. I'm not backing down. So this went back and forth, and then... I'm not even paying attention. I'm doing whatever I'm doing, and all of a sudden I look, and then a bunch of people started jumping on. They started seeing this, and they started coming in. And Jerry from Bad Cop, he came in, and he started writing something. And again, you know, I say this before, and you know, I'm a big fan of Jerry's. I love his podcast, and I'm a big fan. And, you know, it's kind of neat that we actually are connected on Facebook. So I'm sitting there, and he's on there, and he's kind of taking shots. And it wasn't really a shot, but it looked, again, when you're writing stuff, there's no context. You know what I'm saying? There's no tone of voice. There's no context. So
no inflection, no facial
expression. You can read it one way, and it sounds, and read it another way, and they have two totally different meanings. And I get that. So I said, dude, you know, this is kind of a thing between a friend and a friend. And, you know, I can kind of pick on her, but I appreciate, you know, not just don't pick on her. I mean, you know, and he was like, it was totally cool about it. So then I get a... You okay there, bud? Now he's sitting down. So I was totally okay with it. Then all of a sudden I get a private message from Dude. That Dude says, you know, your mic's muted. I don't know if you want to know. Your mic is muted. Your mic is muted. There we go. Attaboy. There we go. So Dude sends me a private message. Now, again, people are listening. I understand that I'm a 55-year-old man acting like a 15-year-old boy. I totally understand it, and I own it. All right? I own it. All right, but this is the way it is, and you lose your mind. So then Dude sends me a thing. He says, like, look, can we de-escalate this? I want you. Now he starts making demands. I want you to take this down. I want you to do this. I want you, all this kind of stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, now I'm starting to calm down. You know, I'm starting to calm down. I'm like, well, you know what? I shouldn't have put her name in there. Probably should have put her name in there. But I hate it when somebody vague books. Vague book is when they don't tell anybody, but only the other person knows. Yeah. So I hate that. So if I'm going to say something about you, I'm not going to vague book. I'm going to put your name there. So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking. So I go, okay, all right. I'll calm this thing down. I'm not removing the post, but what I will do is I'll go in and I'll take all mentions of Ace Queen Pro and Dude out of the thing. So I deleted what she wrote, and I deleted all her mentions and all. So it's kind of innocuous. I mean, you can go read it now.
Yeah, by the time I got to it, it was a patchwork, and I couldn't make heads or tails.
Yeah, you couldn't make heads or tails.
Because I missed everything.
Right. So...
Curse my job.
So I go... So then I said to Dude, all right, I'll take this down. I'm doing this. And he's like, no, I want you to take this one part where Jerry from Bad Cop. I said, look, they don't even know who they're talking about. He goes, well, it won't take much to put it together. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that. So then something came up, and I said, listen, you want to do this? I'll tell you what. You want to handle this like a man? We'll put this behind us right now. You take that picture that I made of you, and you put it as your Facebook profile for 24 hours. And I'll put whatever picture you want of me up on my profile for 24 hours. And it'll be like, you know, and that'll be it. And we'll be done, and it's over like men. And he's like, that's not going to happen. I'm like, all right, well, here we go.
See, what you should have said was...
You can act like a man! What's the matter with you?
Absolutely. So I think it's over, all right? I get done with the private message thing. I go on to Facebook, and the first thing I see, it's her. I just lost a Facebook friend of 4 years. Over this election, he's attacking and bullying my husband. His Facebook name is John B. Good, but his real name is John Buchanan.
Wait a minute. She actually blamed the election for her unfriending you?
You know what? Again, I don't know what the whole... Can you stop typing over there? Thank you. So, I don't know, but she put me on total blast, all right? And so, I'm sitting there and I'm reading this whole thing, and I'm like, are you kidding me? I just went in there and dumbed down this thing, as an olive branch, okay? I go in... What? How is this social? It's the most unsocial thing you did. So I just go in and edit everything and dumb thing down and look like a pussy.
Well, you know why she did it? She unfriended you, right?
No. At first she did not.
She did not unfriend you?
No.
Oh, okay.
Because I saw it. I saw the whole thing. So I'm there. So then I go back in to the private message and I go, dude, I said, look, I do all this and your wife puts me on blast. Come on. What's this? And he's like, where? I said, where? On Facebook. Go to Facebook and look what your wife's doing. So then he comes back and he starts sticking up for her. Right? I'm like, all right, that's it. Gloves are off. Gloves are off.
Testicle lockbox.
Right. You can't stand up and say, now listen, I understand. Look, when you're married, you got to pick your battles. I get it. All right. But after I dumb things down here, you think maybe you can say, hey, listen, you know what? He's an olive branch. Take that down. So now... her friends are coming over and they're putting she's like, I saw that and it wasn't funny. I'm like, thank you. Who the hell are you? And why do I care? And another one comes over and says something. She goes, you should go take that by yourself or something. I forget what it was. Or go in your own sandbox. I'm like, this is my sandbox. This is my
It's your post.
Exactly.
Yeah, what the fuck?
You're in here.
You are in your sandbox.
I am in my sandbox. So now, I'm like,
damn, God damn! I'm sorry, I missed all this.
Right?
What a fight!
All right. So, and again, it takes me right back because what would happen is if we, back to PSO days, Poker School Online, they would have these forums, and these guys would get into these big things, and they would start yelling at each other and calling each other names, and then the moderator would come in and have to delete the whole. They would delete the whole post.
Right.
Like they would just come in and just
that's what they miss because there is no moderator.
There is no moderator.
It's your page. You can do what you want.
Well, apparently not because I got warned.
Well, you can...
Warning!
Well, see, now what you can do, if she didn't unfriend you, and assuming she doesn't listen to this podcast...
Well, she's already unfriended me.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, but you know what? Dude hasn't. Dude's still
Well, see, now what you could do is you can do the big get even, and you can just, report everything that dude does, and have his shit flagged.
Okay, I believe it or not, I like.
If you wanted to do tit for tat, I wouldn't. But I'm just
believe
saying.
it or not, I know you wouldn't. But believe it or not, I like dude. I like Ace Queen Pro. But you're not going to put baby in a corner. Yeah, that's not happening. And I don't have Facebook, but I got a podcast, and Facebook can't do dick about this. Now, can they? No.
Of course, this means war.
Of course, I'm leaving everybody's names out because, next thing you know, I'll have Dewey Dickham and Howe on the phone. Mm-hmm. That being said, this is all going on.
So how was your week?
It's today's Tuesday. All right?
2 days.
It's been 36 hours since this has all gone down.
2 days of drama.
But you know what? Here's the thing, because I'm such a stunad. What I should have done when we were friends was I should have taken a screenshot of it. So I had it. Not because I want to, I'm not going to go turn her in. I'm not going to rat on her like I ratted on Bad Cop to Juliet Miranda and tell me that this isn't karma and irony.
Well, in the back of my mind, I was kind of rattling around.
Don't think that's not wasted on me right now. Don't think that I am not cracking up on the fact that I dined them two out. And Juliet Miranda, she's what did she say? I'm a psychopath. She actually texted
did
back.
Did she?
Oh, Yeah, if you ever go to our Twitter and actually read something, you might find some of this stuff.
Well, I'm kind of busy.
Too busy to look at Twitter?
Yes.
No, you just don't want to look at Twitter. But
no, in all honesty, I've been busy because I am the I'm the treasurer of the union, and we're in the middle of our yearly audit. So
okay. You don't have time to do all this nonsense.
I've
social
been busier
media?
than a one-arm wallpaper hanger.
Right.
The last 3 or 4 days.
So now I feel bad because now Jerry's kind of involved in this thing, and I don't want him involved in it. But it got way out of hand. So next thing I know, she unfriended me, and she might even have deleted the post. I don't know. I can't see it. It's behind the wall. It's behind the wall of privacy. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's funny. She doesn't want Donald Trump to build a wall, but she builds her own wall. Okay, I see I see what's going on here. But like I said, I like Dude, and then Dude's like, and we were back and forth. Matter of fact, I think I have. If I could go on social media, I have some of the screenshots here. One of your awesome friends just called her because she had her phone number on Facebook. Not a good move. If you have your phone number on Facebook, yeah, it's a. And
was she as good a poker player as she was at making decisions?
Both of them are
phone number on Facebook.
Both of them are excellent poker players. Both of them are excellent poker players. So it says one of your awesome friends just called her and said that she had her number on Facebook and told her that I should beat her, so she keeps her mouth shut. And I was like, great shape. I listen, I don't agree with that. And meanwhile, there's another woman yelling at me. I said, Happy World Friendship Day. So he tells me that she does everything privately. I mean, sneakily. I mean, privately. Well, I guess Deuce, Jerry, and Dave from Bad Cop are right. I guess I'm a bit of a shit starter. And you know what? That's me. And that's what I do. And I enjoy it. And I think I'm going to continue starting shit into 2017. And Happy New Year's to you all. And I hope you stick with us for 2017. Our next podcast will be out Friday, the 11th of January. And it's going to be, I'm afraid of this one, to be quite honest with you. It is the Crutch Word Challenge drinking game. I'm actually setting up a studio in my living room so we can bring Deuce here, and we are going to drink shots every time we use one of our crutch words. And I've already booked the Jimmy.
It's the Jimmy. Oh, Jimmy, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? It's the Jimmy. Oh, Jimmy, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do?
That's right. The Jimmy will be the referee, so he will be here. And every time Deuce uses a crutch word, Jimmy will play.
Jackass always takes it up the ass.
And Deuce will have to drink a shot. And every time I use a crutch word, Jimmy will play. Because Jackass always takes it up the ass. And I will have to drink a shot. And since I'm the only one that really knows how to kind of podcast and run all this equipment, I have a feeling that this either will be the shortest episode or the longest episode, or it could be a total train wreck. We have no idea. So we're setting this up, and that'll be the 11th of January when we come back. And we welcome you to come back and join us. We love the fact that you guys are listening, and we really do appreciate it. And again, you know, even though I'm not that unsocial on social media, and we would love it if you joined us and joined in on the conversation and hung out with us and, you know, tweeted at us, used Instagram and Facebook. And all our contact information is over at brandxpodcast.com/contact. You can go over there and just check it out. Or if you want to tap the cover art of this episode, it'll pop up and the links will be right there and it'll take you right there. And you can follow us and join us and tweet at us and hang out with us, and we would love that. So listen, I know you're going to make a New Year's resolution, and they say they only last 30 days. So let's see if you can just make, instead of a resolution, just try to set a goal. Let's do that. And that's what we're going to try to do this year on the Brand X podcast. We're going to set a couple of goals where we're going to bring some guests in here. We're going to try to hook up with some other podcasts and just try to make your morning commute, or whenever you're doing something mundane and you just want something in your ears or just want to be cheered up a little bit. Hopefully we can be that for you. All right, everybody. Have a great 2017. Happy New Year.
That's it. We're just getting into it.